Thanks for being here. It's an exciting time. Today, I think, would have been our first available first practice. We get 42 days from our first official game to start practice, but we only can practice 30 of those days. So to keep from going 2 days, taking a day, 3 days, taking a day, I always kind of take a couple, 2 or 3 days on the front end off. So we're in that mode right now. We're going to take the weekend. We'll have taken 3 of our 12 that are mandatory to take off by the time we start on Monday. So Monday will be our first day of practice, but I'm just really, I'm antsy and excited to get going. It's a fun group. Really have worked extremely hard. We've had a great summer. Our preseason stuff has been really good. And so this is an exciting group. They're skilled, they're talented, and really we're young. Of the 4 young ladies that we signed out of the portal, 54 points, 27 rebounds. That's kind of where our older kids have come from. Sonia is really our only senior that on paper, this is her final year. And so it's a young, we're really young on talented, and with our kids that are returning, Shay being the oldest in that group, and then the kids that we brought in, the 4 young ladies out of the transfer portal, just really add a lot to the table. So really exciting time. Again, anxious to get going. I think everybody's seen our schedule now and knows, we got to get it right early, as we got a gauntlet early that we're going to have to deal with in our schedule. And it's going to require us to be really good, or it's going to be, we'll struggle early. So a lot of new faces, and in trying to get them involved, we've got some kids back that have started a lot of games for us. And yet we've got some older kids coming in that have been really successful where they were before. So excited about the opportunity, and again, appreciate y'all being here today.
Coach, you talked about this summer. You were out there ziplining and on the water. Are those typical activities for you?
The water is something that I've grown up on. The ziplining was on a vacation, and again, just taking the opportunity to try to sell season tickets any way I can, right? I think in both those instances, opportunity to be with my family, and it's kind of tradition, me being on the water doing the wake surfing. I've done a lot of it. My family's done a lot of it, but the zip lining now, that's not just something I'm real comfortable with, especially when you're standing up on top of the deal and you're fixing to go down and it's that far and that steep. But I did it, and so it was a lot of fun.
You lost your most prolific three-point shooter. Is that a concern? And if it is, who might be able to step in and take those?
Yeah, I think we've got some kids that can shoot it. So I really don't, my immediate concern, if I was worried about something, is who's going to step up and be that perimeter defender like Joanne was. Joanne got everybody's best wing defender. Rory's always going to be that person probably that's on the ball, and she's going to create that atmosphere there. But who's going to be able to step up and be that next frontline defender that gets everybody's best wing player? And so I think we've got some kids that can shoot the ball. I'm excited about that. And, again, I think what we have coming back with what we've added, we've got some offensive kids that I think can score. My concern right now is getting them to all have chemistry on that end, as well as then the defensive piece. So, we've got some work to do, and we got to get it done in a hurry. But, it's a long season, as we all know, and we'll get better. And we've gotten better. I think Rory really worked hard this summer on her shot, and you can tell it's improved. But all those kids have had a really good summer. Amo was twice playing with USA on 3-on-3, and so I'm really encouraged by what we got done in June, July, and August.
The way she came on, Aaliyah, and had to battle through the injuries that we saw during the summer,
Yep.
knock on wood, she stays healthy. Could she make a pretty significant jump even from what she did at the end of the year?
You make the biggest improvement between your freshman and sophomore season. And I'm hopeful that that's going to be the case with all three of those young freshmen. But Amo had a great end of the year. Obviously, she was really good early, got hurt in that third game, and, you know, really set her back. And so what she provided for us late in the season, NCAA tournament, really good. And so that's what you're banking on and hoping for in this next year. And so I think she could possibly have a really good year for us, and we obviously need her to do that. But I think what's fun about this team, y'all, is we have a lot of competition at every position. Like 1 through 5, there are kids that are going to be able to compete every day, and you know, there'll be very little, if any, drop off. You know, and I think that's, as a coach, that's what you want. You want people competing every day who are going to make each other better. It's hard to get better, y'all, if you only go against somebody 10 times a year on another team in a 40-minute game. Like, if that's the only time you see somebody really good, you can't get better. But if you're having to deal with somebody every day in practice that might be better than you, that's only going to give you an opportunity to get better. And I think we've got kids that are going to push each other in different areas every single day. And so you'll have no chance but to get better.
We use that as a sales pitch, that part that you have competition and you have a specific need, you said, perimeter defender.
Yeah.
You sell that to them like, want to play, this
Sure.
is something we need.
Yeah, I mentioned it to them when we came up after a workout Monday. I said, hey, here's a question for you. Who's going to step up in that role? That doesn't have anything to do with your jump shot. But we got to have somebody with that toughness. Y'all heard me say this before. If they describe you as a tough, physical, aggressive team, player, no matter what sport, the coach is going to like that. I need that player to step up and be that person for us on our team. That's a role that we definitely need to fill.
Coach, at the end of last season, you had an extraordinary end of the season. You were able to bring together the community, the fans, other teams at Texas to come out and support Texas women's basketball. Do you see that happening again, to pack out the Moody Center?
We certainly hope so. I was just over there before I came here. It's truly an incredible arena, and obviously on campus, it's the best on-campus facility in the country. So I think our style of play is fun to watch. It's what people enjoy watching. You know, you've heard me say it a million times, we don't stand around and play and hope you miss defense in a 2-3 zone. We try to be the aggressor, and so I think it's a fun style to watch, and so from an entertainment perspective, in that arena, watching this team play, I think it gives us a chance to really have a great fan base. And again, in a city like Austin, I think it's a big bang for your buck and a great value.
Kind of a two-part question for me, kind of going off that. I mean, you got some players in the portal, Shaylee and Sonia specifically, who I'm sure they can play defense, but they can shoot.
Yep.
I'm kind of wondering, are you going to change your philosophy at all by getting them here, or is it still defense first for you?
You know, Danny, I think for me, I don't care how we win. We can win 100-98, or we can win 50-48. I don't care. I've had those teams that were really good offensively, and then I've had those teams that if we don't guard, we don't have a chance to win because we're limited skill set wise. I've had that already here at Texas, where if we don't guard, we didn't have a chance because we just didn't have enough offensive firepower. And so I think that's where I'm searching right now, is what is the identity of this team? You know, what's it going to be? I think I have a real smart team. I think I've got some kids that really know the game and understand the game. So, you know, I think for us, look, y'all know we're always going to play both ends of the floor. This ain't football. You know, it's not football where you have offensive players, defensive players. You got to play both ends. And again, I think for us, we're really good in transition, but it's hard to have transition if you're taking the ball out of the net. So if you're not going to take the ball in the net, you got to guard so that you can get it out and do some things in transition. And we all know we've got some players coming back that have been here that are really good in the open court. So I think to answer your question is, you know, we're going to find our identity, but defense is always going to be part of the equation at Texas.
Coach, talking about finesse on the court, Rory Harmon, I can't imagine her getting any better than she was last year. What kind of improvements have you seen from her?
She got to get better. All of our kids got to get better. You know, again, she worked really hard this summer on her defense, on her shot. And she's somebody that's always going to play the game really hard. She sees the floor extremely well, can score at all three levels, can score with contact, even at her size. And so, but the thing you love about her, she's always going to set that tone defensively. She's always going to set the tone out top in the press, working the ball up the floor. So if you're playing with her and she's on the ball and she plays like she plays with such intensity and energy, you can't help but go, well, she's playing hard. I guess I better play hard too, because if you don't, you'll stick out like a sore thumb. And you all know now, I've been here 2 years, I don't like that. We want kids that are going to play the game really hard, and that's one of the reasons why she's here. She loves, her family loves, her dad knows that's part of Texas women's basketball. We're going to guard, and we're going to guard that way. And so, but for her, I thought she just got really better this summer because she spent time working on her craft. And that's what you want you want your student athletes to do. So certainly encouraged by that. And again, I thought all of us, all our players got better.
You had Kendall Hunter do this summer.
Yeah, so Kendall worked hard this summer, and again, I think for her, it's just a matter of getting that motor at a certain level every day, and understanding that there's so much more than what you really think you have. And I think once we get that with Kendall, that she gets to a certain level and that motor's at a certain speed, I think she's really going to see a difference in her game. And that's something that we consistently talk about and coach and practice every day. Kid can make shots, she's fearless. And when she goes to attacking the rim, it's a different speed than some of her other speeds. And so, again, I need Kendall to play. And so, but she worked really hard, as the rest of them did this summer, and had a good summer.
Are you building staff chemistry too, because you had the full turnover? I know you got one back, and you're pretty familiar with another one you put on there, but still, It's 3 new coaches this year from last year.
Yeah, it's, the one constant I think is that I've got 4 former players on my staff again. I've had that now many, many years. Having Elena really got me through the summer, but think about this, y'all. Elena, Sid, and Blair signed 54 points and 27 rebounds out of the portal. That's who was here when we did that. They did a great job. I couldn't be more proud of that staff, and so the ability to add Lindsay, someone that I knew as a player. I think I coached against her as a player. Knew her head coach at Purdue, I have tremendous respect for. Knew her head coach at Wisconsin. And I took, as y'all know, I take my time on these things. Like, I just don't get in a hurry. We talk to y'all all the time, and I talk about this, we recruit to a fit. That's not just for my student athletes. It's critical that I get it right for my staff. And I took a long time and did lots of looking all across the country. And y'all, I've been doing this now, I'm into my 38th season. I used to walk into a gym in the summer and there might be 150 coaches in there, and I knew everybody. Now I walk in there and I know very few. And so when you do that, I've got to find, it's critical that I find the right fit for our program. And man, I couldn't be more excited about Lindsay and what she brings to the table and how she's really fit in and hit the ground running. She landed, got an Uber, went across, we picked her up. We went over to the private terminal, got on the school plane and went recruiting like that. That's her first minutes here. And, but she didn't want it any other way. She still needed to find a house. She still needed to do some other things personally. She said, Coach, I'm good. Let's go. That's the kind of folks that we have here. And so, to be able to add Sydney Carter and Christy Smith, both played for me. Both were point guards for me. Both played on Final Four teams. Sydney helped us win a national championship. And those kids are winners. When you start talking about walking up and down our hallway, how many Final Four rings, how many national championship rings do you have? Those are all people that are like-minded, that are grinders, that are here to get it done. And so, again, I'm smart enough to know I can't do it by myself. I surround myself with winners and good people. We believe good things happen to good people, and we're not going to compromise that. And Texas deserves the best. I feel like I've got the A-team again, and I'm excited about our future.
If you have to address any concerns from the administrations about promoting Blair.
I think that Blair earned her promotion. I think they saw that in what she was able to do her first 2 years here in her role. And I don't think there's any question that she's more than ready and capable to move up into that role. And I really appreciate CDC, our athletic director, and President Hartzell for their support in that, because I think they believed it too. And again, when you look and see what she's done throughout her career, both as a player, as a director of player development, as a director of basketball operations, then what she did this summer in a temporary role, going on the road, and what she was able to do in recruiting, there's no question in my mind. She earned it and proved herself. So again, I talk about people that know what I want to do and how I want to do it. Somebody that played for me and has been in the other roles of a program. She's more than capable, more than ready. I've had people call me about her being a head coach already. So I feel very, very good and confident. And again, if you all knew the history of her as a player, she earned her way. She didn't play a whole lot her freshman year. She played more sophomore year, but didn't play as much as she wanted. We had a heart-to-heart. Hey, you can go to X university, Y university, and go right now and don't have to do anything else, and you'll be a starter, and you'll probably be all conference. But if you want to play in the SEC, you got to go to work. She went to work.
Does it help that now that she played for you and knows you're not going to give her special treatment, having already?
Oh, I think she knew that before she ever played for me. I mean, she knew that what the demands were for me as a player, and then she obviously learned it from me as a player, lived it every day. And again, we do things, I'll say it, we do things differently, and the way we do it, but it wins. I've had so many people tell me, Vic, you don't need to worry about changing. Like, there's so much change in the world, right? There's so much acceptance of doing it differently, and it's okay to be average, and it's okay to be, there's a way that we've done things that has won for us, and I'm not going to change. And that comes with anybody that's on our staff and anybody that plays for us. It wins, but it's different.
Community is such a huge part of UT. How do you think you have impacted the UT community since your time here?
Not enough, to be honest. I think we've made an impact. I think we helped raise $135,500 last year for the neighborhood Longhorn program. It's tremendous. But it's, to me, I haven't been able to get out and speak and meet people and do more. We're involved with Helping Hands. Our kids love going over to Helping Hands. But again, for me, I want our kids to be involved even more. I want my staff, I want myself to be able to do so much more in the community, because we have a big community here. And there's so many things I think we can do. So COVID really handcuffed me the first year. It handcuffed me with my team. It handcuffed me in the community. Then last year we were kind of back and forth with COVID. So we want to be involved as much as we possibly can in this community. We want to do as much as we can, and we want to do more. And so the answer is we've got to do more. I feel like that's our obligation, and I'll lead into, that's why we're going to do what we're doing with the exhibition game. To me, it's our obligation to help our family in Uvalde. If we have an opportunity to impact that community with what they've had to go through, It's our obligation as a Texan. It's my obligation. And at the University of Texas, how can we not be a part of helping that community? So I'm so proud of the opportunity that we're going to have when we play DePaul on October 30th, when Doug Bruno, who's a Hall of Fame coach, brings his program to town, that we're going to be able to assist that community and help them probably in the smallest of way. But if it's just a little bit, help them cope and recover from those events, man, we're gonna get all in and try to do that. And I'm hoping like heck we can fill up that arena and get 10,500 in there, and I have to go to CDC and say, hey, you need to roll up the garage doors, we want 16. And he'll tell me, okay, well, I want 5,000 names of people that are coming, and then we'll do it. And then, you know what, we'll try to do that. We'll go ahead and get the signatures. But I think we're really excited about the opportunity to be involved and to help them. The superintendent of schools down there is a Texas Ex. And so when I was able to talk with him, he was just really appreciative that we would want to try to do something. So again, it's our obligation. We're Texans, and we should, we need to be involved.
You get what you wanted out of the schedule, and I thought y'all were going to go to Arizona trip. Is that delayed or?
Yeah, so part of the schedule, y'all, I've still inherited part of it. The Connecticut, Gino is, well, the first year because of COVID, we lost the game. Then last year, because of the schedule and different things, he let us put it off a year. But that's part of a schedule that I inherited. And of course, we have a monster tournament in the Bahamas where we potentially, could play we have to open against Marquette, who took UConn to the wire last year and is well coached and got a lot of good players back. and it's loaded with top 25 teams. So potentially our second game is against UConn on the road. Then our next 3 games could all be against top 10, top 25. So early on, we've got to be good, but then you got a South Florida and a Princeton. Princeton's in the preseason top 25. South Florida's an NCAA tournament team. They're well coached. They always have a great offensive team. And so we're going to have to be, really good against them. So we've got a very demanding schedule. Does it have Stanford on it? No. Does it have Tennessee on it? No. We will try to get them back in the future, but we've got enough on there for this team with this many new players. We've got a really demanding schedule. And if you put it down on paper and compare to last year's and you go, what we call, strength of schedule versus potential strength of schedule, it's very much identical, if not better. So I know that maybe someone might say, well, it doesn't have the name. It does for women's basketball fans. Like, there's teams on there that year in and year out are in the NCAA tournament, and we're going to have to be really good, especially early.
Did Arizona get delayed, or is that just the trip to Arizona? Did that get delayed?
That's next year. Yeah, so we'll go back. Again, they were gracious enough to help us work through some real difficult dates. They had some dates, they didn't fit with us, and so we appreciate Arizona and Coach to work with us. So we'll return there. I told them, you give me the date, that'll be the first one we put down, and we'll go there. And they've done a great job. Coach has done a great job there of developing a tremendous fan base, and we'll have to go there. So that's a game that we inherited, right? And so we've had a hard time playing it. We were supposed to play them last year in Vegas, right? And they came down with COVID.
You could have Tennessee in the Bahamas, though, right?
Yes.
Was that
Yeah.
part of the reason why the schedule?
Yeah, part of my concern was that, we could possibly play them twice. And, I don't know that we needed to play somebody like that twice. And again, don't mind playing them, always well coached and have great players. But I think y'all all know basketball has gotten away from playing teams twice in a season. And about the last team I know that did it, I think A&M played Oregon twice 2 years ago. And other than that, I just don't know if that has happened in the last 20 years. So we could potentially do that, and that was something that was in the back of my mind. And so, again, I've got to get this team ready and do what's best for this team. And I have to be fair to my kids. And again, I got 30 days, 33 days to get a team ready to go play number 1 or number 2 in the country on the road with a lot of new faces. So we've got some work to do pretty quick.
How about the game in Dallas? I mean, you're playing USC there.
Yeah, and that's exciting. I mean, they're you talk about well coached, big. Well, they got some size. That'll be in the American Airlines Arena right there before Christmas, and great opportunity for us on Sunday afternoon on national TV on ESPN to play. And again, all those potential high school kids that can come to that game in the Dallas area, that's a huge opportunity for us. I didn't really want to give up the home game because we're in the Moody, but at the same time, play a team in the Pac-12 in Texas. I think it's a great opportunity for us. So that's exciting as well.
Being a male coach in a women's sport, what have the girls shown you or taught you about the importance of women in sports?
Well, I think the competitive nature of a student athlete, male or female, you and I both know the real world's a real competitive place. And so I think when I see them every day and see the type of young people they are, how competitive they are in this arena, but then to know how competitive they're going to be in the real world, that's our future. Those are our leaders of tomorrow. And the personalities that this team has, they're wonderful young ladies. Their impact they're having in our community, I mean, what they've shown me when I take them over to Helping Hands, their willingness to give back. This is a great group. I really love them. I love being around. They're fun. They like to cut up. They like to have a good time. We've had some time together outside of the gym where we've spent time together, and they all have unique personalities. But I think what I've found being around them is just they're great people. And it's fun for me to be around positive young ladies, positive young people. I mean, as a coach, it is really a struggle when you're around energy vampires. You can ask any coach in America, that is really a challenge. It takes so much energy away from the ones that are positive and are working hard and do want to do it the right way. And so this is a good group. I love our culture. That's a trigger word with coaches right now all over the country, right? Culture. What is it? I love our culture. I love my locker room right now. And I think we've got some really good leadership in there. So it's a good group. I'm excited about them. And again, they're really a lot of fun for me to be around and coach right now.
Thank you. Coach, last year, Joanne Allen Taylor, she was an engineer student, right? You had mentioned that, she probably should go work at Tesla or SpaceX. Do you know where she landed?
Yes, she's playing, I think she's playing overseas right now. She wants to continue playing basketball. She was on that USA team early in May that won the 3-on-3. She's just not quite ready to give the game up, and that's what I love about her. Joe, really the ultimate competitor, ultimate team player, y'all. I don't know that you'll find someone on a regular basis like Joe who has aspirations of playing professionally, yet that never once was an indicative of her playing. Like, it was never about her. It was never about, I got to get mine. She was the ultimate team player, team competitor, teammate. And I really enjoyed coaching her. Like, she's my kind of kid, my kind of player. And so proud of her. Was at her graduation with her and her mom, and to see the pride, I could just see it on her mom's face. You know what? It was on mine too. And Joe's going to be successful. Whenever she decides to hang up the shoes, she's going to be successful. And I hope to get that phone call, to make that call to endorse her, because it'll be a glowing endorsement. I just love that kid and appreciated, really appreciated. That's somebody, y'all, that never had a bad day. Like in the gym, never had a bad practice. Not once. And as a coach, boy, we really appreciate those kids because I'd be lying to say if everybody was like that, because not everybody's like that. All right, appreciate y'all.
Sir, appreciate it, man.
Praise the Lord and look at Longhorns.
Vic,